Life is a journey full of ups and downs, joys and challenges. Each of us carries experiences in our story that have deeply marked us, moments that sometimes leave us with an almost unbearable weight. These experiences, known as traumas, are often seen as indelible scars, painful memories that haunt us and shape our worldview. However, philosophy offers a powerful perspective that can transform the way we deal with these marks from the past. For philosophy, trauma is more than just a negative event or an emotional wound. It is a fact from your past to which you have consciously or unconsciously decided to attach a label saying, "I refuse to learn from this." This label is the anchor that keeps us tied to the past, feeding pain and resentment and preventing us from moving forward. However, change begins when we decide to alter this narrative. Imagine for a moment that you can revisit that painful situation and, instead of clinging to the suffering, look at it with new eyes. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? You may find that in doing so, you realize that the pain also brought with it a series of valuable lessons. Perhaps you developed an inner strength you didn't know you had, or discovered a resilience that was previously hidden. Each trauma, no matter how painful it was, carries an intrinsic lesson. This lesson is what truly matters. It is what transforms pain into growth and suffering into wisdom. By recognizing and accepting these lessons, you make peace with the past. Instead of remaining in expectation that someone or something owes you compensation, you understand that the true gift lies in the personal transformation that resulted from that experience. When you make this shift in perspective, something magical happens. The burden of the trauma lightens, and what was once a weight becomes a part of your personal growth. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are the master of your own journey, using the lessons learned to shape a stronger and wiser future. This shift in perspective is not easy and may take time. It requires courage to face the past and willingness to rewrite the story you tell yourself. But in doing so, you release the transformative power of acquired wisdom. You begin to see each trauma not as a permanent mark, but as an integral part of your personal evolution. Therefore, look at your past through a new lens. The pain and suffering you experienced are not a sentence of imprisonment, but an invitation to growth. Embrace the lessons that emerged from each experience, and you will find a path to true healing and freedom. Remember, the past is not a battleground where you must eternally fight, but a school where you can become the best version of yourself. By making peace with your past and recognizing the value of the lessons it offered, you transform traumas into wisdom and pain into power. This is how you free yourself and move forward with renewed strength and clarity, ready to embrace a future full of possibilities. In our journey through life, we all face difficult moments and painful experiences that mark us in various ways. These events are often seen as open wounds, but true transformation happens when we learn to close the accounts with the past and accept the price of our evolution. The key to this transformation lies in acceptance and understanding that each step, no matter how painful, was essential in shaping who we are today. Each experience we face, whether good or bad, carries an important lesson. The suffering and pain we endure are not merely random incidents, but part of a necessary process of growth and evolution. By accepting that these experiences were necessary for our personal development, we are, in fact, recognizing that the price of evolution has been paid. Closing the accounts with the past does not mean ignoring or forgetting what happened. It means accepting that these events were essential to our journey. Just as fire transforms and purifies, our difficult experiences, though painful, also have the power to transform us. They burn away what was old and unnecessary, making way for a new version of ourselves. The difference between pain and lesson lies in our ability to learn and grow from the experiences we have lived. When we fail to extract a lesson from our difficulties, we remain trapped in pain, unable to find a way out of suffering. However, when we can look at the past with a new perspective and extract valuable teachings, we transform pain into lesson. Each moment of suffering has the potential to teach us something new about ourselves and about life. If we can understand and internalize these lessons, rather than clinging to resentment or victimization, we find a path to healing and evolution. In other words, pain becomes a tool for learning, rather than an insurmountable obstacle. Closing the accounts with the past is an act of courage and liberation. It means leaving behind what cannot be changed and accepting that the path traveled was necessary for us to reach the present. This does not imply forgetting, but accepting the past as an integral part of our history and growth. By doing this, we free ourselves from the shackles of regret and victimization. Victimization only distances us from our personal power and our ability to change and grow. Nothing happens to man that is not inherent to man. In other words, everything we face is part of the human experience, and it is our responsibility to use these experiences to strengthen and evolve. Do not victimize yourself. Victimization is a path that leads us to blame others or circumstances for our challenges and limitations. It is a way of abdicating responsibility for our own life and evolution. Instead, open yourself to the idea that each challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow. By taking responsibility for your own path and choices, you become the protagonist of your own story. Closing the accounts with the past is a crucial step toward true emotional and personal freedom. By accepting the price of evolution and turning pain into lessons, you free yourself from the bonds of the past and embrace the possibility of a richer and more fulfilling future. Remember that the path you have traveled, with all its difficulties, is what has allowed you to get to where you are now. True wisdom lies in recognizing this, learning from lived experiences, and continuing to move forward with a light heart and an open mind. Thus, when you look back, instead of finding regrets, you will see a path of learning and growth. And when you look forward, you will find a future full of possibilities and opportunities, ready to be explored with the confidence and courage that only a journey of acceptance and learning can provide. In the complex web of life, we often find ourselves entangled in a tangle of expectations, obligations, and resentments. There is a belief that many people carry, the idea that someone owes them something, whether it's compensation for a wrong, reparation for an injustice, or even a change in behavior from others. At the same time, we may also carry the burden of believing we owe something to others, whether it's an emotional debt, a gesture of gratitude, or a satisfaction that was never fully delivered. However, this view can be a significant obstacle to true growth and personal fulfillment. Expectations are like traps. When we believe that someone owes us something, we place the power of our happiness and well-being in the hands of another person. This mindset can keep us anchored to the past, nurturing a sense of injustice and creating a barrier to inner peace. It's like carrying an anchor that prevents us from moving forward, keeping us stuck in a moment of pain or disappointment. Instead of living fully in the present and focusing on the future, we remain waiting for compensation or a change that may never come. True emotional and psychological freedom comes from understanding that no one owes you anything. This realization is not an invitation to cynicism or disinterest, but a form of liberation. When you accept that the responsibility for your well-being is exclusively in your hands, you begin to live with a new sense of autonomy and control. You become the captain of your own ship, navigating the seas of life with confidence, without expecting others to adjust the sails for you. Similarly, when we believe we owe something to someone, we place ourselves in a position of debt, often infused with a sense of guilt or obligation. This can manifest in subtle ways, such as the need to please others to feel accepted, or the pressure to meet expectations that do not align with our true desires. However, the truth is that our lives are ours to live, and we owe no one but ourselves to be true to who we are. To practice this emotional autonomy, it is crucial to redefine your relationship with the past and the present. First, accept that the past cannot be changed, but your interpretation and how you react to it can be adjusted. Instead of waiting for others to correct their mistakes or give you what you feel you deserve, focus on how you can turn pain and disappointment into valuable lessons that shape a more positive future. Next, free yourself from the obligation to please or meet others' expectations. Recognize that your choices should reflect your own values and desires, not external pressures. By doing so, you grant yourself the freedom to live authentically and fully, without the weight of emotional debts or unsolicited expectations. By understanding that no one owes you anything and that you owe nothing to anyone, you make space for a richer and more authentic life. You become the architect of your own destiny, free to create and live according to your own rules and desires. This approach is not a denial of interpersonal relationships or responsibilities, but a recognition that true peace and fulfillment come from within ourselves. Free yourself from the anchors of the past and expectations that no longer serve you. Accept responsibility for your own happiness and well-being. By doing this, you will find a new way of living, lighter, freer, and truer to who you really are. This is how you become the true master of your own life, navigating with confidence and joy at every step of the way. The relentless quest for approval is one of the greatest traps of modern life. In an age where external validation seems to be just a click away, it's easy to get lost in the need to be accepted, admired, or approved by others. However, living in constant pursuit of approval can divert us from the path of true happiness and personal fulfillment. The key to a full life lies not in pleasing others, but in living authentically, so that in the end, instead of regrets, you find smiles. From an early age, we are taught to seek approval from parents, teachers, and friends. In adulthood, this pursuit manifests in various ways, from the need to perform well at work to the pressure of meeting social expectations. This constant search for external validation can create a sense of insecurity and inadequacy. When we base our self-esteem on others' opinions, we are building a sandcastle that can collapse at any moment. Living authentically means embracing who you truly are without worrying about others' judgments. This involves making decisions aligned with your values, passions, and dreams, even if these choices are not understood or approved by others. It is a challenge to let go of the desire to please everyone and instead focus on being true to yourself. When you live according to your own truth, you align with a deeper and more enduring sense of fulfillment. Each step you take towards your own goals and values becomes an affirmation of your identity. This path is not always easy, but it is infinitely more rewarding than trying to conform to what others expect of you. Imagine yourself at the end of your life, reflecting on your choices and experiences. What would you like to see? Certainly, the last thing you want is a list of things you didn't do or a series of what-ifs weighing on your mind. Instead, you want to look back and see a path filled with courageous and authentic decisions, moments of true happiness, and personal achievements. By living in a way that doesn't seek others' approval, you are investing meaningfully in your own future. Each choice made with authenticity and courage is a step towards a legacy of smiles and satisfactions, rather than regrets and remorse. This is how you build a life that resonates with your true self, a life you can be proud to have lived fully. To cultivate this authenticity, start by reflecting on what truly matters to you. Ask yourself what your core values are and what you want to achieve. Allow yourself to make choices that align with these convictions, even if it means going against the grain or leaving behind what no longer serves you. Practice self-acceptance and self-compassion, recognizing that your journey is unique and valuable. Give yourself permission to make mistakes and learn without the constant need for external validation. True peace comes from within, and true happiness is found when you accept yourself and live according to your own truth. By stopping the quest for others' approval and starting to live authentically, you create a life of true fulfillment. At the end of the journey, looking back, instead of finding regrets, you will find a tapestry of joyful moments, courageous decisions, and a smile of satisfaction. True freedom and happiness come from living the life you want, not the life others expect. So, embrace your authenticity with confidence and courage. Allow yourself to live according to your own values and passions. And thus, at the end of your journey, you will find yourself surrounded by sincere smiles and a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. This is the true essence of a well-lived life.